So the top three Virginia Democrats are all engulfed in potentially career-ending scandals, but all of them are refusing to resign, at least for now. And joining me now, former Republican Congresswoman from Virginia, Barbara Comstock. It's great to see you.
Good evening.
Is it only a matter of time before Lieutenant Governor Fairfax is gone?
Yes, and I wanted to mention, I also served in the State House for 5 years, so this is very distressing for everybody in Richmond and for what is a very small community in the State House. We have something called the Virginia Way where we really work together. And I'd like to also point out that when these allegations first came forward, particularly about the second woman in October of 2017, this was before the election. And so that means there were people who knew about this, who ignored these things. And both of these women appear to be, I think both of them are, Democrats who a lot of Democrat activists and people knew. And she came forward, they both came forward and had no reason to harm a fellow Democrat, yet their cases were ignored. So it's very troubling. I think I am happy that other Virginia leaders have now called for him to step aside. I certainly said that before they did. But I also think this needs to be looked into. I mean, if Justin Fairfax wants people to look at this more closely, I think we should. And I think we should find out who knew about this and when they knew about it. Because this is the kind of thing that if it had come out in October of 2017, the same time that Harvey Weinstein's allegations came out,
right,
this would have had an impact on the election, and Justin Fairfax would never have been elected, and our Commonwealth wouldn't be hurting like this and going through this.
Is it your sense that the second accuser, Meredith Watson, is likely to seal Justin Fairfax's fate?
Well, I think so, but it's not just these two women that I think have given credible, corroborated stories, with contemporaneous witnesses, but many Democrat activists and people are involved with helping them. Justin Fairfax doesn't seem to have many, if any, Democrats who are out there defending him, which leads me to ask, what did you know? Because it seems like they all turned on him pretty quickly. Now, these are all the same people who told Governor Northam he needed to resign last weekend,
right,
and now he's hunkering down. It looks like
what about
Justin
the governor?
Fairfax may do the same.
Congresswoman, what about the governor? Do you think he's going to be able to hang on to his office?
Well, I certainly think, as so many of the Democrats have said, they have no confidence in him. How can they believe him? And, just this week, there were reports saying the governor and the governor's wife were calling, Justin Fairfax and his wife and Mark Herring, who also had his own blackface incident, and telling him, hang in there, hunker down. So unfortunately, it seems like they're all looking at political expediency, and it's at the expense of what are their own allies in their own. These were women who worked with their cause and helped them, and they swept that aside for political expediency, and that's really what's distressing.
Former Congressman.
As well as, these were violent crimes, and I think some of these, if these are true, the statute of limitations has not expired also. So if these are true and he wants them investigated, there could be criminal consequences as well.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Former Congresswoman Barbara Comstock, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.